This video came from YouTube.
It's trending on Twitter.
Why is it not on the news?
The lion will lie down with the lamb.
Come on! I'm starting the show here! We're rolling!
Unbiased and on the fence.
Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you so much for joining. We are live. And our special guest... we have Lazlow with us. How are you doing today,
How's
Lazlow?
it going? Pretty damn good.
Awesome, man. Let's see. Yes, we do have our Jose is here, so we have our moderators in the house. So awesome, man. Yeah, I saw you on Life Matrix a while back.
Yeah,
it's been a while back.
Yeah, I think quite a while back I was with Life Matrix and Scarab.
That's right. Yeah, he was on there too.
Yeah, that was probably like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I think it was in April. So how long have you had your channel?
About a year now. So.
Wow, you've really grown it nicely then. I think I got a month left until I got my year anniversary.
Oh yeah, I noticed that the Mandela Effect really was just kicking off like crazy, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna make videos about this because I know a lot about it. I've seen it for a long time. I actually started noticing the effect when I was like a kid. I was like 18. I put this one video. I'm trying to explain it to my friends, and they had no idea what I'm talking about. I'm like, I just changed everything. Everything's changing. They're like, what are you talking about? They had no idea.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So,
yeah,
do you feel like it's an
to most people back then? I believe that it's we're trying to ascend. Like our society as a mass consciousness is trying to ascend to the higher fourth dimension, and a lot of beings are trying to help us ascend, but we've been so a lot of people have been so brainwashed for so many years that they have been secluded to the third dimension. Like their people and their consciousness is holding on with their dear life to stay here in the third dimension. So that's why all these things are changing. People are affecting what we do know, and then things that are around us in the world are changing because it's their consciousness holding it here, right? And so most people are like, oh, like logo changes, who cares? But the reality is, like, it's a portal. It's a portal to the fourth dimension, and we're trying to ascend our consciousness.
So you feel like it's a wake-up call too, right?
Yeah, it's either we're running out of time, or it's definitely like either bored, go home, or go or go home, pretty much. Like, we got to get this. We're basically being called, right? We're basically being called to wake up, like get out of this, what we've been conditioned to believe for so long. And it was predicted. The Mayans were like trying to tell us a long time ago too. They didn't say it was the end world. They were trying to say it is 2012 will be the beginning of the new age, right? The new golden age that we're going back into.
That's what I was thinking too. So it's just on the cosmic scale, things aren't moving very fast, right?
No. Yeah, and I believe that like even simple-minded people are just like, wow, what? Like, and most people are just like, they don't really. Oh, it must have just been rebranding, or that's just a new species, or whatever. Like, they just have all these excuses. Like my dad, I have probably 200 Mandela effects, and my dad is an example of just like he'll come up with a million excuses of why that is. You know what I mean? Oh, they must have just remembered it wrong, like JFK. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, Dad, they made museums about JFK, and he has 4 people in the car, not 6. So, like, people are just like so ignorant to the whole thing. But the people who want to wake up and want to learn the truth, then they can go for it. You know what I mean? And everyone else can just stay in their sheep bubble for the rest of their life.
That's
doesn't matter to me.
That's so funny because I remember watching tons of those JFK, videos, and it's like where they would think about the driver doing it.
Yeah.
And like that's not even possible.
See, like when I the first thing I saw was that Darth Vader. I was like, wait a second. I had to like rewind it 100 times, and then I had to go grab the original VHS, and I'm like, where's Luke? I'm your father. What happened to that? It was freaking me out, and I was like, okay, this is wrong. Something's going on here. I finally was like, yes, it happened. Like ever since I was a kid, I always wanted something like this to happen. Some kind of multiverse, weird cosmic thing to happen. That I'm not a crazy person anymore. You know, like when I was a kid and growing up, everyone was just like they didn't understand what the hell I was talking about. They had no clue. Like I always wanted something science fiction to happen in real life, and it finally happened. You know,
Totally,
took a
man.
long
Yeah,
time.
it's like I woke up in a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, you know, and then like I have friends from Pakistan, and I'm talking to his dad. He's like 70 some years old, and I'm like, did you ever hear about the Great Wall of Pakistan? And he's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, watch this video. He's I'm like, you know, you think they would hear about it? They're from Pakistan, you know, that's like probably a pretty big accomplishment to them. You would think.
Definitely. Yeah, that's wild,
And it
man.
just appears out, and then same with the Great Wall of India. Apparently, there's Great Walls all over the place. On my next video, I found I don't know if it's really a Mandela effect, but there's actually pyramids underwater where Atlantis used to be, or whatever, supposed to be. There's pyramids all over on underwater. Just like how there's pyramids all over the world, because back in the day, the pyramids used to be the whole world was in this consciousness. They knew they were really advanced back then. They used these pyramids as like giant batteries, and like extend their consciousness to worldwide. You know.
Yeah, I did look into that and saw how they were using it for. Well, one place said that it was a power source, but another one said it was like to draw in cosmic energy or something.
Yeah, it's like a consciousness cosmic power generator around because you can find them in like Egypt and Canada, Mexico, Russia, everywhere, even China. There's pyramids all over the world. They're everywhere. So it definitely was this is probably like the 7th time that we've we just as a society we've done this many times. Like it's not like this is the first time we've ever invented iPhones.
Exactly.
It's like nothing's new. They found like ancient batteries, ancient computers from they don't even know how many thousands of years old they are. And people are saying that the Egyptians built the pyramids with some kind of gravitational device, and they could actually move objects without having to. Do you think they actually physically made the pyramids? No, they probably used they were super advanced, very, very advanced race.
It's so funny when you think about what we have nowadays, and there was this one show, it was 50 years after humans, and it showed how everything would be just after 50 years. Bridges were all destroyed and everything.
I decided I should make an alien video. I was kind of into aliens and stuff, but it was 500,000 views because I was exposing the fact that this guy, Phil Schreiner, whatever, he got shot. He was in a firefight with aliens, and they have so many underground bases. These beings, they want us dead. Like the bad aliens, the malevolent, they want us dead. They want 95% of the population done, and then they're going to control the rest. But this is where we need to wake up. We need to stop their agenda, because they are using consciousness over matter just as much as I am. You have to be able to. We need as many people to wake up and stop their New World Order agenda. That's their plan. Is they're going to use this evil force, and they want their new religion, new currency, and we have to stop that. This Mandela effect is wake up, people. We are running out of time. We need to all focus and our consciousness properly and for good, not for evil. But they've been brainwashing people for so many years. It's insane.
Yeah, so, people are in the chat room are saying that some are saying ETs helped with the pyramids. Others are saying they did it with their thoughts. And I heard that in the Law of One when I was looking into that.
Yeah.
And then
it would make sense because over there, it's so massive, and where did they get all this mud? And they said the river, but to make those rocks and razor precision. So,
Yeah, that's another thing is there's spots where the joints fit together so well you can't even slip a razor or piece of paper between it and stuff.
what what I believe is that the fallen angels, they were worshipped. They worshipped them like gods. Like they were godlike. They did miracles and they did all kinds of stuff. And these Egyptians were slaves to them. And where did they go? Why did they leave? Well, it had a lot to do with like they were obsessed with like Orion, and that's where we are now. We're back apparently when we're on Orion Spur. We used to be in Sagittarius Arm. How did we get here?
Yeah, just instantly we're in a different
Yeah.
part of the galaxy.
Right. And that's where the Egyptians were trying to build some kind of portal, and they're obsessed with Orion's belt. And that's what with those three pyramids are perfectly aligned with Orion's belt. And we're in Orion Spur. I don't know. So what does that represent? The fallen angels, this is where they're coming back here. It could happen at any time.
That would go along with the Law of One material, where they talked about the negative entities were of the Orion group, they call them. But does do the pyramids still align with the belt like they used to, or is that a Mandela effect?
See, I don't know. I didn't look that up, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's what they built them like. But if we are going into an age where the fallen angels are coming back, then that could be a problem. And then there's good angels that are trying to help us, right? And they're trying to get us to ascend to the new earth. That's where we need to go, is the new earth. Because this earth is going to be destroyed. And it is like, that's what I think this whole thing is about, to wake people up and get them out of here. Like the good souls need to get recycled to the new earth. And this is going to be a living hell in this place, I think. It's all prophesied, so why would it be wrong? It's all coming exactly in line with what it says.
That's right. And another thing that I found interesting on your last interview is that you had contact with one of the angels, didn't you?
Yeah, Raziel. He's actually the angel of the secrets of God. So he told me all kinds of, like, I've learned, even in dreams, I'll just be standing around and I'll just know things. And one time I was just playing around and I wanted to try and do the lottery. I said, Raziel, what's the numbers? And I got 4 numbers out of 6. I was so close. I was by 1 digit. I would have got whatever. But anyway, I got like $500. But that was just with, I just asked what the numbers were. And yeah, and it's not like this voice in my head. It's more like this feeling, like I can feel what he's saying. It's really hard to explain.
I can understand that. I don't know who I'm getting help from, but I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's just different information about it being a wake-up call, just different things about, a lot of the things you're saying, I got too.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with when I was a kid. I had black mold poisoning and I was in a coma, and I think I died. And then I got a second chance, and they basically said, you can come with us or you can stay. But they said, basically, it's like, if you stay, you have to, I think this angel has been keeping me alive, or I have a purpose now. Like I can't stay unless I do something. You know what I mean? I have to be important. I can't just die, or I can't just get my second chance and do nothing with it, right?
Right, I totally get that. You had another time too, didn't you? That you almost died with the GHP or GHB.
Yeah. This guy I was talking to his girlfriend, and he gave me this. He's like, "Here you go. Here's a shot of vodka," and I'm like, that didn't taste like vodka. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna have a great night." Oh crap! I'm dancing on the floor, and my heart just stopped. Like literally, just died dead right on the dance floor. And then I wake up, and I'm like, what happened? He's like, the doctor's like, you died. Your heart stopped 6 times. Like, why am I still alive? They're like, I don't know. Look at him.
And that's just for people who don't know, that's the date rape drug for women. But guys have a different effect to it. Well, if they die, I guess. And
like a lot, like a whole shot of it, like a big shot glass of it. It's pretty deadly. It could kill people. Like, it's not. But most people, they'll put like a tiny little bit in somebody's drink, and that's enough to like knock them out. Yep. And then I was in this is where when I first discovered what the Mandela effect is, I realized I hit a pole in my truck. It was really windy. It was like snowy out, and I had no weight in the back of my truck, and I just flew right off the road, hit a pole. I opened my eyes and the pole is beside me, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I think it like killed me, and then I just woke up as myself on a parallel universe. Like it's as crazy as it sounds. It's totally possible. That's where I started realizing about. It's called quantum immortality. You'll just you'll die, but you'll be yourself on the other timeline, basically. Yeah.
Right. I thought that right in the beginning, man. I was like, gosh,
Yeah.
dude, did I die or something? Everything was just so weird and nobody was noticing.
Yeah, I think after like 3 or 4 times that I so-called dot or whatever, like I just started looking around. I'm like, that's not right. I don't think that's right. And then I just kept ignoring it. Like, it's just all in my head. But then eventually I'm like, no, I'm not where I used to be. I'm definitely in a new world here. Something's different.
Yeah, Zark says dying is part of the programming, and I totally.
Yeah,
It's
and
just like a
it's kind
game, how you respawn in a different universe.
it's yeah, it is. It's like a game, and it's basically like exactly the same, but it's different. You know, it's the same. The people may look the same or be the same, but technically they're different people on a different timeline. Like you could be, I don't know if you'd ever be able to match up with somebody on an exact timeline. Here's an example. If you were in a coma for 5 years and I visit you in the hospital for 5 years, to you, you wake up 5 years in the future, but I will be still in the past visiting you in the hospital, right?
Right.
So you're never really, like, time is such an illusion to people, really. Time is made up, I think. I was just watching a video about explaining that the Roman Catholic Church, back in like a long time ago, there's missing 300 years. Technically, we don't technically live in 2018. They just like they messed with the Bible, they messed with time. There is unaccountable of about 300 years. So we don't actually know what year it really is, technically.
Oh wow! Just like we moved in space, we moved in time.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, we have no clue exactly what time it actually is. Like it's all just a man-made device, right? Just for yeah. So the Mayans weren't wrong. Like it's not like we were off. They were trying to warn us, not warn us. They're trying to actually like get us ready, for a huge event. That's basically
Which they went
worldwide.
through because they sort of disappeared off the map, right?
Yeah, I think that they had their own golden age. Like they had their own whatever we have, like it's just like growing as a consciousness. And then they start realizing they're like, huh, well, that's weird. And then they started, their shamans must have. The best example I can say is there was when there was an island of people and there was ships coming, like big ships coming to their island, and none of the people could see the ships until the shaman said, he's like, okay, guys, because they believe in the shaman, and the shaman says there's big ships, they look like this, and then once the shaman opened their eyes or opened their mind, then they could see the ships. They've never seen them in their life, so they just couldn't perceive them, but that they believe in their shaman, and the shaman showed them what's happening, right? So it's kind of like people like me on YouTube. There's people who are trying to open people's mind, like open their, like wake up, people. Yeah.
Because we're sort of our consciousness is the computer in a way, right? It's so like if you can get enough people to realize things, you can actually shift the whole consciousness.
Right.
It's the whole 100 monkey effect that they talk about.
And here's the other thing about I realized about time. There is no time basically because I made a video, but almost a year ago. One of my first videos, I put the full logo. So then I one day I just wake up and I'm like, okay, let's see how this conscious over matter works. So I look at the Ford logo and I just believe to myself, it's different again somehow. And I look at it again. Now the O is connected to the R and D, and I look back at my old video. And I never noticed. How did I not notice that the first time? It's because everything is in the now. The consciousness is in the now. It doesn't matter about the past or the future. It's consciousness is pure now. Like there is no time with consciousness. So then people are like, oh, it's always been like that,
And in a way, they're
Everyone has
right.
their excuses. Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
always been like that. Well, yeah, it has. Yeah. So then I look at all these old videos about the Ford logo. I look at these Mandela Effect videos, and they don't even notice. They don't even talk about the R and the D connected. Like, obviously, somebody should have noticed that shit. But
exactly. Yeah, it's so funny it's so funny how everyone's sort of right when they, like, well, that's true, but I remember it a different way,
Yeah. Yeah, my girlfriend, she helps me out a lot. She's got her own little channel too, but we've found so many things, and we're like, it's endless. And what's the one we just found? It's like it used to be like mirror, right? Mirror on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then it changed to magic mirror. Now it's even dumber. It's like slave in the mirror. Not even kidding. Go look it up.
Oh, you're kidding me. It changed again?
I'm not kidding. It changed to slave in the mirror. What the hell is going on? Like, right? So
that's amazing. That's like you go watch these old videos. It happened with me with the thinker statue that I'm talking about, the hand being under the chin, and now he's like sucking on his knuckles, and it's like you watch the video, it's like, what is this guy talking about? Doesn't he see where the hand is?
Yeah, so that's right there is proof of what it is. It's a consciousness thing. It's like we could be looking right at it. It doesn't even matter. It's kind of like the Matrix where he says, there is no spoon. We could be looking right at it and talking about it. But it's like, what is it really there? Because it's just in our head. It's our consciousness builds this reality. Just change your thoughts and the reality changes. Like, it's pretty simple.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like anybody would notice something change? I mean, can you be looking at something at the moment it changes? Because I don't think that's possible.
No, I think that once you express through your words to other people, and then kind of like how I said about the shaman, you open their mind, and then they're like, wow, I didn't look at it that way, right? And then they totally change their belief, and what they believe in starts making their reality also. It's kind of like that. When a tree falls in the forest, if there's nobody there, does the tree actually fall? Is there actually even a tree?
Right. There's really no forest if there's no consciousness there, right?
Like the cat in the box theory is until you look at it, until you open the box, is the cat alive or dead? You don't know, right?
That takes us into the quantum field, really. That whole wave of potential.
Yeah.
That's exactly
everything is pretty much just gone.
That's exactly how I picture the other timelines. Not so much, there's all these other timelines, but just this field of possibilities you can hop to, and it collapses once you get
the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch. It talks a lot about portals and the coming of the battle, like the huge battle that's coming. Like it's a war for our souls is what's going on right now. It's this huge consciousness battle right now. It's like every day. You just can't put your guard down. And most people just go day to day. They got shit to do in their life, whatever. They're brainwashed for so long. And then, so I look at the news, and the news, this is how they control people. They tell people stuff, they keep people in fear, and they make them weak. They constantly, think about this. Okay, weapons of mass destruction. Osama bin Laden. Where was the weapons of mass destruction? Never. They just constantly keep talking about it. And then people at 9/11, they're like, there was no plane. There was no plane at all. But you saw it on TV, so it must be real. There was no fucking plane. There was no plane. And it was computer generated.
Yeah, I saw that, man. And it makes sense because the way it just disappeared into the building, it was impossible.
Yeah. Same with when it hit the Pentagon. How does a huge turbine on a plane just disappear or evaporate?
Exactly.
And they had it was a cruise missile, and these guys from the FBI come in a truck. They grab all the shrapnel and they throw it into the truck.
Or it was more like they threw the airplane parts out into the field. A couple of them.
Yeah. Stupid. Yeah. There is no line. I'm sorry, people. But the media does a very good job. I watched an old clip, and they're like pretending they're in Vietnam, and they have these fake sirens going off, and they're like, oh, it's getting crazy out here. And they're actually just in the studio in America, pretending they're in Vietnam. Oh my God. It just shows you just how manipulating our government is. And it's like, guys, you never made it to the moon. I just put a video up on my channel and showed just how insanely retarded the Apollo mission. I'm like, oh, they magically got home. How did they get home?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and the something funny happened on the way to the moon video shows how they just fake the whole thing. It's crazy.
Oh, it's been brainwashing for so many years. It's like they pump up these videos about like Paul. They made the movie with Tom Cruise and all, or no, Tom Hanks. It's like none of this happened, and then you go look on Google and they lost all of their data and all their footage. How is that possible? Because it never existed. That's why.
So do you think
it's all gone?
Do you think like NASA was fake, but we do have a secret space program like we hear with Corey Good? What's your feelings about that?
I think so, yeah. A lot of what we see is disinformation. I've been doing a lot of research on this flat Earth, and everyone's like, oh, the Earth is flat. Guys, wake up. It's not flat. The government made the flat Earth theory. They did it to make us all go crazy with it. Just like drives me nuts. And they're trying to hide the hollow Earth by putting out the flat Earth. So everyone's like, yay, flat Earth. I'm like, guys, what happened to the hollow Earth? Why don't you talk about hollow Earth?
Yeah,
nobody's talking about it.
It's so funny that you said that, because I'm right with you on the hollow Earth. I'd been looking into that for a while, and it totally makes sense that most planets are hollow.
And these morons with the flat Earth, they're trying to say, it's because there's a big ring around. No, guys, come on. They blocked off, the United Nations is run by aliens, but they blocked off the Antarctica because that's the entrance. Yeah, what's his name? Admiral Byrd, and the Nazis tried to go there one time, and they got shot at.
Right.
But there's an entrance to the South Pole and the North Pole. There's both. And then when you look on Google Maps, where the hell did the North Pole go? It's still there. They just took it off Google Maps. Everything we see on the maps, it's all fake. It's all computer generated. We don't have real photos of anything on Google. It's all fake.
Yeah, I thought it was strange the way they get the footage of the pictures of under the water on Google Maps.
And no, definitely not. And so here's a question. Why don't we have the shuttle on the moon taking pictures of Earth? Because we never went there. We've never gone to the moon. Not only that, you can't leave Earth because you'll die from radiation poisoning. The Van Allen belt. It'll kill you. There's no way.
I'm starting to think that we can't leave Earth because we're directly connected with the consciousness of the Earth. It's kind of like going out and losing internet connection. But we're required to have it to live and to think.
Here's the best example. I went to Toronto. I don't know if you saw that video. I went to Toronto to go see my girl, and I stayed there for about a week. It's now in the other side of Canada, so I'm definitely not tied to where I'm from, Alberta, right? I'm definitely not consciously aware of what's going on where I'm from. So I get home, and there's like a huge hill right by my house now, and I'm like, Dad, where did that come from? He's like, what? I'm like, look, this big hill. So I think that like once I leave my conscious understanding of what my town is, and then I come back, it's different because I left my conscious awareness in Toronto. Right?
That's just like like video games. They only load in what you're currently looking at.
Exactly. Yeah. So we need to start living day to day, like trying to understand this whole concept, and then we'll start to see the world around you. It doesn't really stay solid. It's nothing solid. It's kind of like I had this picture. It's like it's a piece of cement, and it says nothing's written in stone. It's literally in stone, but it's like everything we see around us is our consciousness. So we need to figure that out. Because it says in the Bible, even it says, you will do greater things than me. It's Christ. He's saying you'll do greater things, and they will move mountains. Haven't we already done that? They've moved continents already?
That's
totally
true.
Consciousness. That's how he walked on water. Consciousness. He just believed there is no water. Doesn't really matter. I can walk on it, right? How did he turn water into wine? This is what he's trying to teach us. We can do the same thing.
Mind over
I don't need to
consciousness.
be exactly. I don't need to be by somebody to heal them. I can just talk to them on the phone and I can be healing them. You know, this one guy came from a town to see Jesus and he said, come with me, come to my town, come with me and heal my son. And he's like, I don't need to go to your town to heal him. I can do it right here. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Actually, it was the main guy that said that to Jesus, I think.
Yeah. He had a lot of stuff to teach us. So much. You know, and he's not the only one. Like there's other people like Christ that were trying to wake us up, like Buddha. You know, I'm not Buddhist or anything, but I know some of these people were real, like Krishna and whatever. But you know, I'm Christian, so.
Well,
But I'm sure there were other.
It's like they tried to take it and use it to divide us. You know, it's instead of and then take the focus off of the real message. Like with Christianity, they sort of taken it off of his message and put it on his death, when he really didn't talk a lot about that when he was alive.
Yeah. So it went completely like all these religions, they go completely opposite now, and they just fearmonger people. Oh, you're gonna go burn in hell forever. Like that scares. It literally made my mom go crazy. That's why she had schizophrenia. She lost her mind. Her religion drove her insane. Is that what God wants? God wants you to fear for your soul, for damnation for the rest of your life? No, God doesn't like that. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, he's love. Why would he do that?
Yeah, exactly. And I've read the Bible so many times. I know the book of Enoch. It says the same thing. Here's what I'm trying to say. It says designed for Satan and the fallen angels, not for humans. Okay, it was not designed for people. It says even there's many mansions in my Father's kingdom, and I'll make a place for you. Choose to follow Satan, then yeah, they're going to hell. That's their choice, right? If you want to go there, it says if you make your bed in hell, I will be there with you. That's what it says. But you have to choose. People are going to die, and then they're going to be like, oh, I'm worthy of hell. I deserve to go to hell. Well, you're putting your ass in there. Nobody's doing it. God's not putting you. It's people's decisions, like their own soul. Retards.
Yeah, totally, man. And it's to hide the fact that we can be like Jesus. I mean, nobody's even striving to be like Jesus when he said we could, you know. But the church has us we just don't want to go to hell. That's all, you know. We want to go to heaven instead, and that's the main thing that
I wanted to go.
For.
I was living in this one town, and I call up the church, and I'm like, "Can I talk to the pastor?" And I talked to him, and I told him like a lot of stuff that I know, and he's like, "I don't think you're a good fit for our church." Oh, I'm not a sheep like the rest of them. Yeah, he said I was not allowed to go to his church because I was too smart or just knew too much. I don't know. I don't think you'll be good with my other sheep.
Well, I think church is important. It's an important stepping stone, and you know, maybe people need that fear right at first, but they should grow beyond that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to learn from the Bible, but a lot of it is just. I did. Do you know who? Everybody knows Billy Graham is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's a false prophet. He's the false prophet. He convinced millions. And his statement is good. I'm sure he's good. I'm sure his prophecy or his. I'm sure it's good. Here's what I'm trying to say. He's a 33-degree Mason, dude. He's 33.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Once you get why is he friends with all the presidents? Because they're also 33-degree Masons. He's
wow.
Yeah, you watched this one video about George Bush, and he knew Billy Graham since he was like young, man. Bush knew Billy Graham when he was a kid. So like they're all tied together. Like they will deceive the elect themselves if that's even possible. But even my dad, I'm like, Dad, he's not what you think he is. He's a false prophet. And then he will when he dies, this year he's going to die. He will usher in the Antichrist. Do you know why? Because he's convinced millions and millions of people that it's okay to be Buddhist and like all these religions, Muslim, Buddhist, every religion in the world. It's fine. You don't even need to know Christ. You're a Christian. That's what he said. That's a new world order religion, is believing all the religions are right. Anyway.
And I always feel like they all have a little piece of the truth. You know what I mean? Like they're all built around some piece of truth, and then they've sort of taken the whole idea of us trying to have Christ dwell within us into the man Jesus dwelling within us instead of the Christ consciousness, which I believe is really what the whole deal is.
Yeah. What you're going to see when Billy Graham dies, you're going to see a lot of things on TV, a lot of things everywhere are going to be pumping in so much money into this Billy Graham's stuff, right? And then they're going to usher in the Pope is going to take a lot of advantage of this. And yeah, it's going to be huge. You'll see it. And you will see a new person enter the stage. That is the Antichrist. He's coming. Very nice to everybody for a very long time until you start seeing him ushering in World War III. And then you're like, uh-oh. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Well, how do we know it didn't happen? I mean, there's a lot of theories going around and I thought he already died, too, didn't he? He didn't die. Or is that a Mandela effect? Is he back again?
Billy Graham, yeah, that was a Mandela effect. He's 100 years old, man. Billy Graham? Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
if God is as epic as I think he's going to be, I think Billy Graham's going to die right on his 100-year. He's 100 years old. That's crazy. I had this. The presidents were like crying about him. Still alive. His wife died apparently. Crazy.
that's wild the way people just, and I've been thinking, what if Prince or Michael Jackson, those are two big ones. If one of those guys come back, that's going to be huge.
Yeah. I'm actually going to make a video about all these mysterious so-called suicides and murders and drug overdoses, like Kurt Cobain, Michael Jackson. I could go on. The guy from Linkin Park.
Yeah,
Princess Diana.
and
The Star Wars Princess Leia, the girl from Star Wars. Anyway, a majority of these people are Freemason, satanic blood sacrifices. They murdered these people. They didn't kill themselves.
My wife showed me this clip of Prince talking about chemtrails not long ago, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's why he died. Yeah,
a lot of these people, going off about see, I'm kind of protected in Canada. I'm not worried about, I don't even care if I die from whatever. I'm saying whatever I want, man. This is I'm not afraid of these people. I got emails from this guy's like, I'm a grand master of blah, blah, blah. I'm like, good for you. I don't care. I'm not joining you.
That's funny,
kidding, man.
Yeah, I'm totally not afraid of death.
Yeah,
I used to be, but now I'm it's just an exit out of the matrix.
Yeah. As soon as you figure out the truth, even this guy said he was on DMT and he was talking about it. He said when he was on DMT, he left his body. He felt like this world was like a hard drive. It was like this computer simulation hard drive. And once he got out of it, then he could travel cosmos and he had freedom. He felt trapped. This is like a trap here. Like a giant. Yeah.
Yeah, someone, I forgot her name right now, but she had a TED Talk where she had a stroke and lost the left side of her brain, to where all she had was that she was just released. She didn't care about anything. She felt massive. She felt like the size of the universe. And I think at the heart of it, we're all one,
Yeah, that's right. And everybody, so people I don't know, Satan, I don't even like saying Satan, but that's the kind of person who tries to make everybody so egotistical and about themselves. Like everything's about me and I'm so important. But the reality is, no, God wants us to be a family, be together. But Satan wants you to be, I can do everything by myself and I am amazing. And then think about people on their phone. They don't actually have real friends on Facebook, but they think they are, and all they are by themselves on their own. That's not what it's supposed to be,
Oh, totally, man.
It's supposed to be, they just want people to be individuals who believe they're not individuals, who believe they're so connected, but they're just tied into their technology. And it's not going to be very long from now where they're going to be a new event, things going to happen, the economy, problems, who knows? And everybody's going to be begging for that chip. You can't buy anything without it. People will be begging for this technology like it's the best thing since sliced bread. They'll be like, I could imagine it being so advanced that it could be like a super phone chip, and your hand turns into a hologram, and that's your phone, your hand. You know what I mean?
Right. They actually have a wristband like that where it puts the screen on your arm or something. It's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be something like that. It's going to be, everybody's going to want it. Everybody. People will be begging for it. They'll be lining up for it like the iPhone 25. It's going to be crazy. And you will be You will be called crazy and stupid without having it. Why don't you have the chip? Why don't you have it? What's wrong with you? You're crazy. They'll put you in psych ward. They'll put people in crazy nut like you don't have the chip. You must be a terrorist or insane, right?
Right. People be lining if it comes to something like that. People will be lining up to get it. You know, they'll be outside Best Buy all night camping out.
But what I've been told though is that this is going to happen after the massive event that kills off the majority of the population. So it's not it's not just going to happen overnight. The world isn't going to. There's going to be a majority of people who are not going to take it. So these aliens are trying to say is that they want all the major cities destroyed, and then they want people to take the chip to control them.
It's like we're at a crossroads between using technology to ascend or to do it the right way, the natural way that we already have the power to do. We just don't know, you know? Yeah.
The majority of people should be telepathic by now, but we've been so brainwashed and dumbed down. We are not telepathic at all. Like, we should be, but we're not.
I think the cell towers have a lot to do with that, because I used to, when people would call you on the phone and you'd know right before they called you that they were going to call you, you like have this feeling, and that's really died off since we've gone to digital towers, I've noticed.
Yeah, and you think about it, everybody's got a phone and everybody's getting, Wi-Fi is so bad for you. Like, there were these girls in grade 9, and they put seeds, like live seeds, they were like alive. They put them right beside the Wi-Fi, and then the other seeds are away from the Wi-Fi. Guess what? The Wi-Fi seeds are dead, and the ones that are away from the Wi-Fi system are alive. It's killing people. Like, it's causing Wi-Fi.
Oh, it's crazy, man. I've got my Wi-Fi sitting right next to me, and then right behind me on the outside of my house, I have one of those smart meters. I should have chose a different spot for all of this stuff.
I know a guy, he's got 2 huge cell towers in his backyard, and the government or the cell companies, they pay him, I think, about $5,000 per cell tower. So he gets $10,000 a month to have these fucking huge cell towers in his backyard.
He should use it to go get an apartment elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Get away from that.
That's crazy.
It's right on the highway. Yeah.
Does he have to pay for the electric with that money, or do they pay for that?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No.
Oh, okay. Because my brother, he lived way out, and I was like, man, you ought to see if you can get a cell tower on your property. But that's before I knew how bad they were,
Yeah. What I want to start doing is I want to make a bunch of stickers, kind of like Alex Jones. I see them all over town. InfoWars stickers all over town. I want my own stickers, and I'll send them out. I gotta get them made, but I'll probably Vista print or whatever. I'll make like a few thousand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I could hook you up with the
I'm sure people would put
Your
that.
decal, that would look cool as a decal. Do it in white
Yeah, it would,
or silver or something. But
Most
yeah,
people would be like, what?
I've got one of those machines, so we can talk about that later, though, I guess. Like hitting you up for a job in the middle of a live show.
Yeah, like, and then, that symbol is just like, even if somebody killed me, or even if I died, that symbol will live on. You know what I mean? Like, that is like Batman. My idea can never die.
Oh yeah, man! It reminds me of the Prince logo thing he came up with in a way.
Yeah, he made a symbol too. Mine is I had it in a dream. I was like in a dream, and I looked down at my arm. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. I got this tattoo on my arm, and I do have it on my arm now as a tattoo. But in the dream, I wrote it down, and I took it out of the dream. So it must have been from a different side of myself on a different timeline. I don't know, but yeah. So it's real now.
Did you see that Netflix
movie
called The Discovery?
Discovery? No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but it's this guy figures out how you can see the consciousness leaving the body, and it causes people to start committing suicide and stuff. And it's just, I don't want to ruin what it is, but it's definitely, it gets you thinking about how consciousness and it kind of goes in some of the things we've been talking about. But yeah, that tattoo made me think of that, because somebody had a different tattoo when they respawned or whatever.
Oh yeah, when I'm in a dream, if I don't have my tattoo, then I know I'm in a dream, right? It's kind of like my totem, kind of like Inception, how he had that spinny thing. But if my tattoo's gone or different, then I definitely know I'm in a dream, and then I can go lucid.
Right,
Yeah.
start controlling it and stuff.
Yeah. Hmm. I was watching that new Flatliners. They remade Flatliners, and how they die for a bit, and then they see a bunch of stuff, and then they come back to life.
Right, they came out with a new one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a new one. It's with can't remember who is in there. Oh, the girl from Inception. That Ellen Page is in that movie.
Oh, okay, that's cool. And you
Yeah.
mentioned before we went on the air that X-Files, just so everybody knows, here in a couple of days they're going to do a Mandela Effect
Yeah.
episode.
On the 24th, they're gonna do it, and it should be on TV. I don't know what. I think it's on Fox or something. But yeah,
I don't think I can even pick up TV.
I
Have to
don't
watch
even
it.
watch TV anymore.
Have to watch it on the internet or something, I guess, after the fact.
Yeah, I think TV is dying, man. TV is gonna die, and YouTube is taking over totally. Like nobody wants to watch commercials and be brainwashed anymore. They want to watch what they want to watch. Like even Netflix is pretty good. Like you can watch what you want, sort of.
Yeah,
But
that's how we got Netflix. I'm like, and then they were never watching cable. I'm like, I'm getting rid of the cable. You guys are just watching
yeah,
Netflix all the time, you know. And then they
yeah,
watch
who, yeah,
YouTube. So
yeah, and that's so people are just like think about it. Justin Bieber, he was discovered from YouTube. You know.
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, times sure have
Yeah.
changed. I
So
mean,
like,
way back in the day, I remember they had MP3.com, and I had my music on
yeah,
there, and it died, and just because of the technology getting better and better. So I wonder what's
yeah.
next. You know, what's gonna?
Like who even listens to the radio anymore? They're Spotify.
That's so true.
I figured out. Yeah, I figured out there's a way you can get free Spotify. Just like you can hack the app. But yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's. I don't
yeah,
really. I've had a few apps like that, but um,
yeah.
yeah, I usually just watch radio shows. A lot of them they put them up on YouTube anyway. So,
Hmm. Yeah, I used to listen to Coast a lot. Like that was a good show. It's still on, but yeah.
well,
See, that's something I kind of want something like that as kind of like Joe Rogan. He's got his own little radio show, but that's what I want.
right, like a podcast, and then he's got sponsors and all
Yeah.
that good stuff. Yeah, Bill Burr is like that too. I used to listen to him all the time. The comedian Bill Burr.
Oh yeah, the comedian. Yeah. He's on Netflix on the Jim Jerry. No, what's his name? The guy from Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard he
Yeah.
had a new cartoon or something, but I haven't got to check it out yet.
Oh, I don't know. It's a show called Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee or something. Bill Burr's on there. It's pretty funny.
So your last Mandela Effect video, man, I think well, not the one about the space, but the Mandela Effect one about the eggs, the black chicken eggs, and the black
Oh yeah,
chickens, and the
yeah.
flying chickens, and the flying snakes, and all of this crazy stuff, man. I'm like, what the heck? So let me say
Yeah.
right ahead, I got your link down in the description. So anybody who is not subscribed should definitely go subscribe. I'm always excited whenever you come out with a new video. And
Yeah, almost 20,000. I'm at 19,020 something. I don't know, but I'm almost at 20 grand per
wow,
subscriber. So
that's
yeah,
awesome, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole
I
thing
hope
with me
you.
being unbiased and on the fence turns people off because they like somebody to be on their side or to believe like they do, and I'm sort of I don't I've been
Yeah,
duped too many times, so I just sort of don't buy into anything fully until
yeah.
I
It's
know
kind of
for
like
sure.
a lot of people pushing the whole flat Earth thing, and I'm like, people need to do their own research and like. But a lot of these YouTube videos, like they're very convincing and stuff, but it's like really,
It's funny
like
because
it
a lot of
doesn't.
the evidence is good evidence. It's just
Yeah,
they put it on flat Earth when there's like 100 different things it could be. It's like sure
yeah,
NASA lied, but they could have been lying about the hollow Earth, because there's problems with the. I had a girlfriend when I was a teenager, and we lived like 1,000 miles away, and we're looking at the same stars in the sky at night.
yeah,
And that wouldn't be possible if it was a dome and the stars were really closer, and just the way the sun sets, and we're looking at the sun and all that good stuff. So there's
yeah,
problems with the theory, and they're satisfied in the whole simulation theory, but
yeah. Hmm. See, I did an experiment. I put a laser beam I put it through a magnifying glass, and what happened is it made stars. Like I look at the roof, and it just reflected tons of stars on the roof because it's a refraction of light. So that who knows what stars really? Because when you zoom in at stars, they look like they're like hollow, and they have something in the middle, and they don't look like planets or whatever they are. You know, they're
Right.
kind of like a reflection of light. It doesn't. It's possible that it is a reflection of the sun bouncing off the earth and making a bunch of little lights in the sky, right? It's totally possible. But
Yeah.
I do believe like we can't be the only planet.
Yeah, and looking at the moon, you can tell certain times that the dark side of the moon is lit up by the reflection of the sun on the earth hitting the moon, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There was a strange video that the Secure Team 10, one guy they actually canceled this one guy's account because it's like a hologram. The moon has a refresh thing. Just look it up. Put a glitch on the moon,
the moon wave
and you'll see.
thing?
Yeah,
I
the
saw
moon
that.
wave. Yeah, it's weird. It's like a loading screen. Is the moon a hologram?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't want to jump, once again, unbiased on the fence. I saw it, I'm like, well, if they got two cameras and they had them both
Yeah.
trained on it at the same time, then I would believe it, but it could have been
Yeah.
something with the camera or something. It was kind of how I thought, but I don't
Could have
know.
been. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. But a lot of people say that it's like an alien gas station. They like made the moon, or like they're saying millions of years ago, they like gravitated the moon here, like they made it, and it's hollow. It's like a It's like a giant moon base. It's huge apparently. But yeah.
So what do you
I don't
think it
think
is?
we
Do
ever
you think
got
it's do you think it's just a hologram? Do you think it's an artificial?
I think it is. I think it's just a massive hologram because these aliens are so advanced, right? Like it's a giant base. They're watching us. That's what they call them, the Watchers. It's a huge base. I see UFOs go in and out of there all the time. Like it's crazy. I actually saw 4 UFOs a couple of years ago. I was with my girlfriend and like 5 other people, and all of our phones died. All of us. I'm like, crap. We're all trying to take photos, and all our phones died. So I run into the house and I grab a camera, an old school camera. I took pictures. There's 4 or 5 UFOs. They're all flying to the moon. It's a base. Totally.
Yeah, and it also could be a broadcast tower too. You know, there's
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
so many things. I'm like, could be, it could be.
Mhm.
Just never know.
It really affects. I think it affects our mood, and it does us down. That moon, it's really negative. I think. Think
Yeah,
about like,
because my
yeah,
mom worked in the emergency room, and she would always talk about how there were so many more things that would happen on a full moon, like even women
yeah.
going into labor to violent activity and so many
Mhm.
things.
I just know it's definitely not normal. All those little holes on the moon and stuff. It's just not normal. Not supposed to be like that.
Yeah, and then they crashed like a piece of a satellite into it or something into it, and it rang like it was hollow.
But yeah, it like vibrated. Yeah, exactly. See, that's why I believe in the hollow Earth is because the Russians tried to drill into the planet. They only went 12 kilometers. That's it. They couldn't go any further. What does that tell you? It tells you that they got to the crystal. There's like a crystal layer that they can't go through. That on the inside, it's probably this like gorgeous planet on the inside, and it probably has its own little sun on the inside of the planet.
Totally agree. Yeah, I was looking
So
into that too, and it totally makes sense. And the crust would be like
yeah,
800 miles thick, and there would
yeah.
be more sky above than there is on the outside. So it ain't like you could
It's
look up and see all the way across to the other side or anything, you know.
like if people just met me, I would tell them, just everything you've ever been told is a lie. Just do your research and relearn fucking everything. Just stop believing what you learned in school. It's wrong. It's all garbage. No, there's no solid metal core. No, it's not burning hot. No, you're wrong. Like think about a pop can or even like a bottle of water. Spin it around. What happens? It turns hollow. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Obviously, the Earth is hollow. Like it's gotta be hollow. Like why is there
And
some
the northern
restrictions on going?
lights, that could be the gases leaking
Yeah,
out the poles or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. And there's like, if you look up hollow Earth, you'll see this big hole. This guy took a video from a friggin' plane or helicopter, and there's like this huge gas hole. Like, it looks like the bottomless pit. Apparently, it's at the North Pole. But yeah, that's where Santa lives. I mean, Santa.
Yeah, they don't want you going there, do they?
Well, that's where Santa lives. I mean, Satan. Just change a couple letters over, and it's Satan, Santa. Or think about this: Saint Nick, and then think about Saint Satan, right? Saint Nick, Satan. Fuck, it's retarded. It's like everything's in like hiding in plain sight, and people are so blind they can't even see it. It's insane. And that's why they're just laughing. The Illuminati and all these idiots are just laughing at people. Like,
that's so funny now when I see news reports on mainstream media anyway. I'm like, okay, so they don't want us to believe this. I actually use it to figure out what they're up to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they constantly want to keep us in fear by, just like how Bush used to say, weapon mass destruction. We need to go. Constantly feeding us bullshit like, oh, North Korea, Russia, who cares? Like, they're all friends. Like, that's what people don't get. The United Nations and the New World Order means they're all together. They're all in on it. You know what I mean? It's a big game to them. So
I've sort of come up with the whole thinking now that everything's going to work out just like it's supposed to work out, and we're sort of it's just a big play, and we're here to learn love and how to treat people and how to rise above all of this chaos because it's just orchestrated.
Yep. And that's what people need to wake up to. We need more and more people waking up. That way they have no power anymore. Because I talked to my dad and I said, man, stop watching this crap about North Korea. They're trying to control you. They thrive off getting us all in fear, and they get more negative power from fear-mongering everyone, scaring everyone. Then their agenda can be fulfilled if they keep scaring us into making it a reality. We need to realize we're all co-creators of our own reality, so we make a good reality, not a bad one.
And people are saying go within, find the God within, and I totally agree with that. But they try to get us into that reptilian or whatever part of your brain that's fight or flight,
right?
By the news and the fear and all that.
Yep. I think that the reason why I got 500,000 views on that alien video is because they like it. They like that. They like that it was kind of fear-mongering about aliens and stuff. So it got crazy. I got, almost 500,000.
That's how it was with the slaughter bots video I did. I'm like, man, people just love to have the crap scared out of them, I guess. I don't know.
They're addicted to fear. I don't know.
Fear porn. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, Dad, he's always talking about, oh, there's going to be a nuclear war. I'm like, Dad, is that what you want? And then and then he starts thinking about it. He's like, no, I guess not. I'm like, stop thinking about it. You're going to make it happen. Yeah.
You're going to hop onto a timeline where there's a nuclear winter or whatever.
Yeah. People need to stay in the higher frequencies, which is love, peace, and joy, and everything good. And then you go in the lower frequencies, and that's like fear, doubt, disbelief, and grief, and all the negative things. And it's exactly what a frequency is. So just stay happy and stay in the love and stop worrying about crap that isn't. Why bring sorrows from the future? It says in the Bible. Why give yourself sorrow from something that hasn't happened?
Totally.
So same with sticking in the past. Don't stay in the past either. You are in the now. You're always in the now. That's what consciousness is. It's not the past or the future. It's the now.
And I totally noticed that when you have those synchronicities, they bring you in the moment. Whenever you have those little sparks of insight or intuition, it's in the moment as well. It's the moments where you got to.
And also, when I tie in with somebody, when I know I'm on the same frequency as somebody, my ears are like, me. I'm like, yep, I'm on your frequency. I get you.
Yep, totally, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you're tuning right in, and you're just exactly on that line. So, and your voice has a lot to do with your frequency too. Like I have this dark voice, and I can make anyone just stop talking. I'm just like, okay, I'm saying, and my voice resonates for a really long time, and it's just up your frequency. You got to be on that exact. Like I could probably go into a crowd of like 10,000 people, and I could talk, and I have no fear of people. So I want to go into stand-up comedy is what I want to do. It'll be fun.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I've
It's
tried
like
out.
when I used to perform music, man. It was like the smaller crowds were actually more nerve-wracking. Whenever there was a huge crowd, for some reason, it was more
Yep.
comfortable.
Yeah, and it's like, and these people can like tie in with you, and you can like feel people. Like, if I'm kind of an empath, my girlfriend's a really huge empath, but you can just feel their energy. You can feel everything around you, right?
Do you want
So,
to shout out her channel while you're here?
what's that?
I said, did you want to give her channel a shout out or?
Oh, it's Mandela Effect researchers. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
So
know. That's what's her name? First name?
Kiera.
Okay, yeah, Kiera. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember her from Facebook, the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff from her.
I
So,
yeah. She's pretty cool. She lives in Toronto. But yeah.
well, that is so awesome. Um, when I
Yeah.
watch the videos, it seems like someone named Carmen is talking. Is
Oh
she?
yeah, yeah. She was doing her voices for. I don't think they talk anymore. Mm.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. But if I do, I'm making a channel. I'm going to do a comedy channel too. Yeah, I might. I'm going to try stand up for a bit. It'd be fun.
That should be cool. Yeah, I think you'd be good at it, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a lot of places in.
your videos are entertaining when you're not. I mean, you're funny, but you know, even when you're not really being funny, you know what I mean. You just got to kind of got that happy
And
attitude about you.
I noticed that people like my videos more when I don't have a script. I just kind of like briefly look at what I'm supposed to be talking about, and then I just go off about it without a script because I'm I'm basically just explaining like this is ridiculous. Like it's like Rainbow Mountains. Come on now.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
tapping
that's
into
crazy though.
intuition.
Yeah, Rainbow Mountains in Peru now. It's like I thought I was onto something in India. Rainbow Mountains in that's China. Yeah,
Yeah,
Rainbow
that's
Mountains, man.
the Rainbow Mountains, the Great
I'm like
Walls.
I'm so excited! Yay! Everything's turning rainbow.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
There's like rainbow trees. There's like rainbow butterflies. Everything's going all rainbow. It's pretty beautiful. It's pretty cool. I don't mind at all.
Oh yeah, in the beginning I told my LGB friends that in a video I'm like, you guys shouldn't have hijacked it in the beginning. We're gonna take it back now. So
Like I live right by the mountains in Alberta, and they got closer to me in my town. They're right by me now. Like I was like, I look at it. How did they get closer? Like, yeah, it's just crazy. Like this world is. I guess this timeline is different because I've been in this town for a long time, and they were like really far away. Now they're like, looks like I could walk to them now. This is crazy. But yeah,
I think it was somebody in Los Angeles had a shot of the city where the mountains look closer, but I just figured it could be just like the zoom on the camera or something.
yeah. But we have like as a human, we have so many excuses like to dismiss it, or else we'd go crazy thinking about it. There's so many things that are. But if if like the sky changed color, there's something that's going to happen that the entire world is going to start waking up to it. It's going to be so huge that it's going to be undeniable, and it's all prophesied. It's in the Bible. It says that this is not. But even the Bible changes and stuff. Like, it's not that the Bible changed. It changed, but it's the same idea. Like the lion and the lamb, and it's a wolf. It's kind of the same idea. It's a vicious animal, and it's with a lamb.
Right, I see what you're saying.
But
It didn't
different
change to like
timeline.
a squirrel and
Like
a
on
lamb
yeah,
or something.
right. And like people at the beginning of the Mandela Effect, people were saying it's satanic. I'm like, it's not, because if it was Satan released from the bottomless pit, things would be a lot worse than they are. But things are getting better, and like people are coming back from the dead and stuff. That's good. I don't see why that's a bad thing. There was this one girl. She was always crying. She's crying about the Mandela Effect and stuff. Do you know who I'm talking about? She always has a toque on. She's on YouTube.
Oh, it's one of the people in the chat can probably know who you're talking about. The one that looks like the one from
Yeah.
Blair Witch.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I'm like, hey, come on, woman. It's not the end of the world. Like, relax. You know, I'm trying to make this positive thing, and everyone's making it like, oh, CERN and the end of the world. I'm like, come on.
Meeks
You think?
Meeks B is her
Yeah,
name. Somebody just said.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And you know, if I was to talk to her, I'd say, okay, it's okay. You don't need to cry about it. Nobody's dying here. Just relax. You know, this is a good thing.
Yeah, I
Uh,
felt the same way. Whenever I felt freaked
yeah,
out, I'm like, don't do a video now because that's just going to spread that freaked out energy.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
if I ever
Yeah,
felt like that, I would just refrain from doing a video. But I understand some people like to use the videos for counseling in a way. You know?
yeah. I'm almost ready to make another one. I got there's a lot of animals that are different. Like so many. How do they just keep finding all these animals? That's right. And I think it's just opening up portals to a world where they do exist. Like it'd be funny if the dodo comes back to life.
Oh yeah, the dodo bird. Yeah, a big
Yeah,
hug
for
and a
sure.
loving hug to Meeks B. We love you. So just
Yeah.
let her know.
No, she's cool. I'm just, you know, relax. It's not the end of the world.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I found. I want to buy that Darth Vader thing. It's like the original, and it says, "Luke, I'm your father." And there's also another line right before he says, "We could rule the galaxy together as father and son." That's not on the movie anymore. It's gone.
Oh
You know,
wow.
yeah, yeah. That's a total line that is gone. It also doesn't exist on this timeline. It's so dumb.
Never underestimate the power of the dark side. Is that still in there?
Yeah,
It is, okay.
yeah. You should see if you watch the new Star Wars. There is so much Illuminati symbolism in that freaking movie. It's retarded. The Last Jedi. You know, they want because they're kind of referencing the Jedi as like the people with consciousness, like the powerful people, and they want everyone with. They want them dead. They want like me. They want us all dead. That's their agenda. That's how they can. Without me and people like me in this world, they would have already had the New World Order. Remember that? There's like a clip from George Bush Sr. He's like, "We had a real chance at the New World Order." It was like, you know, it's so creepy. But you know,
Yeah, that was before it was really out there. Someone was saying how the wolf represents the teacher.
yeah,
Yeah, in Native American culture. That's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. I think like all these timelines, like they're exactly the same thing, but they're not. Like it's the same idea. It's not like it's like is somebody alive? It's kind of like the cat in the box thing again. It's like is Billy Graham alive or dead? He's still alive. It's like what? It would be weird if my mom came back to the dead. That would be weird because she died of cancer. But I don't know. I don't see that happening. But
Yeah, both my
if it
parents
did,
died, and I thought about, oh gosh, that would be weird if they just appeared. Not
yeah.
that I wouldn't love them and be
Well,
glad they
there.
were there, but that would be kind of freaky.
Yeah, my girlfriend. She actually interviewed a guy. He was talking about his son died, and he's alive. He actually came back, and he's still alive.
And he
Anyway,
recognized that he
yeah,
died and come back? Because I always felt like if
yeah,
it
yeah,
happened to you, you wouldn't notice. It would be like they never died or
yeah,
something.
yeah. You know, he knows because he went to the funeral for his son. He had to plan everything, and he's still alive. It's crazy.
Did you see the one video
And I'm like,
somebody
I
did?
gotta.
He said the neighbors, he had neighbor twins, but now apparently one of the twins never existed. They don't
Yeah,
remember
that's
she ever existed or anything. That's weird.
yeah. I was referencing on one of my videos about Fringe, like, and the Walter guy. He says deja vu. Deja vu is like seeing a glimpse into the other timeline that didn't exist, but you can see it. That's deja vu. It, you think you saw something that existed from the future or the present,
I think about that show
but
a
no, it's
lot.
a ghost of the, yeah, yeah,
The way they would go through the Statue of Liberty or whatever.
yeah, yeah. So, and then someone sent me a coin, and it says that Statue of Liberty was on Ellis Island. Now it's on Liberty Island, which is retarded. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the fact that it's been attacked, and we've had 5 attacks in America, apparently.
And then I went and interviewed people in Toronto, and I was telling them about. I'm like, how many people were assassinated in America? They're like 2. I'm like, nope, 4, 4 people. They're like, what? I didn't hear about that. Yeah, you know, it's just like, and then history is changing or whatever because it's not changing. It's actually consciousness. consciousness changes, so does history. Everything, it's like whatever we believe in or whatever we have as our memory. So now we're open to the unveiling, and now we're just like, everybody is just consciously changing the past and the future and the present.
It's almost like we're all on our own consciousness and the reality consciousness, which I don't know if Earth is on that or if it's with us, but it's like it's been hacked. And we still can tap into our own consciousness, and others have just chosen to tap into whatever is being hacked instead of their own, higher.
So this is the problem. A lot of people are going to go the way of the world, right? And they're going to be just stuck in the world. And then there's people like us who are going to be trying to push it and ascend,
world, but not of
try and make it different. Yes. So a lot of these people are going to be stuck. Like a lot of these people are screwed. They're never going to wake up, and they're done.
So what are your thoughts? You think they're NPCs, like non-player characters? Like they're not really, like they're just
I've heard about that.
I've
heard about that. I think that they're just... No, I think a lot of them are actually just like really young, new souls that aren't really fully, like not even willing to wake up. They're not even able to wake up yet. They're too young. So it's kind of like, would you wake up a person, would you wake up a baby while they're sleeping?
Exactly.
Same idea. So it's not really my job to wake everybody up, but the people who are ready to wake up, let's go.
And it seems like the people that are ready, they find you. You know what I mean? It's like you put some videos out, they find you, and you don't have to go. The ones that aren't ready to wake up don't find you. Let me put it that way.
And I think that the truth will set us free from this world. It says in the Bible, the truth will set you free. That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
if we know enough
make
truth,
you free now.
Yeah, we will get out. Yeah, we will be free. Free of our, bondage of this world, and our soul will be ready to travel. I think this is just like a learning ground. I think this is like a playground, but a learning school also, this planet. And I think there's so many things to learn. It's like a game. Ever since I was a kid, I always thought I was in this like Truman Show game.
Yeah, it totally seems like that, man. And it's like we can either graduate onto the higher realm, or we can just redo it again. But it's not like you burn forever. So.
No.
A loving God would never burn somebody for eternity. That's just ridiculous.
In a way, this is kind of a hell because you could be born in Africa. That would be a hell on earth. Like that sucks. But luckily, I was born in Canada. But
yeah.
And then
I've
talked to people.
You can be somewhere nice and be in hell just with your thoughts. I've seen family members that are just so absorbed with their problems that they're in hell, and they're in a great place geographically.
Same with my dad's like that a lot. He just can't, because my mom and my sister died, my grandpa and a lot of other people died, and he can't wake out of it. He's like in a constant depression. I just watch him. He's dying. Like I'm watching him in a living hell, and he just can't get out of it. He's stuck in the past. I'm like, Dad, just move on. Like I can't. I couldn't imagine being miserable every day forever.
A lot of that comes down to taking responsibility for your own problems, or blaming.
Exactly.
If you're blaming politics or money or all this other stuff, it's like you never really get beyond that hell that you live in if you don't take control of it.
There's this one guy that most people are forgetful. Like when they come to this world, they forget their past life and their whatever. This one guy, he did not forget. And so you're in this like kind of like a mothership, kind of this spaceship kind of thing, and that's where your soul resides as a physical soul, he's saying. And then he had a choice to figure out which life he wanted. He like jumped into some portal, and I guess you choose your parents, you choose the way you look like, you choose everything, and you choose what this life is going to benefit you before you even get here. Like, what is this going to do for your soul? How's it going to make you better? Or whatever, then you jump into that life. That's basically what it is. It's not like we're just put here randomly. Like I'm put here exactly where I'm supposed to be. So
yeah, and
so was everyone else.
That's kind of a good point. Somebody was bringing up NPCs on a different timeline. So maybe if there were all these different timelines existing, maybe if you're not consciously in that timeline, it's just an NPC of you. Sorry about the echo, people. I hear it too. Somebody said something about it. It's not that loud though. With
all these thousands of millions of timelines, it's possible that there is versions of you right now, and your soul really is an inhabitant, and that pretty much, like you're saying, is like a non-player, and They're just there.
Like
and
the
like,
movie Click. With
like,
you remember when you fast forward it and he was just sort of an autopilot?
yeah. Like, what if we die? What if I die and I just wake up as that person, that non-player version of myself on the other timeline? That's what I think is possible. I think every single timeline we can go to until eventually you just die of old age. Like, every possibility is possible. But then eventually all the timelines converge to dying of old age. Kind of like, how the hell is Billy Graham 100 years old? 100 years, man.
I got to tell you, that would kind of suck, I think, for me.
Yeah. Just you can't die until you die of old age.
It's like, I hope I smoke on all my timelines.
Yeah, that's what my dad is. That's what my dad says. Like, that's why I smoke, so I don't have to go to a nursing home. I'm like, I bet you still will have to go to a nursing home. Oh man.
Maybe I should second think quitting.
Well, yeah, I think smoking and drinking yourself death is a form of suicide. Totally, it's my dad's form of suicide. He's slowly killing himself with alcohol and drinking.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, alcohol and smoking. Yeah.
And even not eating right. I mean, you could kind of
exactly. He doesn't eat at all. He eats like once a day, not even once a day. You can't live off once a day. But he's been doing it for about 10 years now. 10 years of drinking, smoking, and not eating. And yeah, you could just see him. He's just getting. He looks really weak. Like, pretty sad. He's killing himself. But what am I supposed to do? There's nothing I can do. But
Well, that's crazy. Well, man, hours just gone by really fast. I can't even believe it. What's your next video coming up about? Do you?
I got 23 more Mandela effects. There's so many. I don't know if this is Mandela effect, but it's worth mentioning. It's funny. There's not cell phones, but there's phones in cars in 1901. 1901.
What?
Like, how? Yeah. And there's also a vending machine that dispenses pre-lit cigarettes in 1930.
You gotta be kidding me! I saw one where these ladies were walking down the road and like wrapped the wire around the fire hydrant and made like a cordless call or whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm constantly looking for new stuff, and even if it isn't a Mandela effect, it's still entertaining.
Definitely, man. Well, I really appreciate you having you on, and anybody who hasn't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe to his channel. The link is below, and also Mandela Effect Researchers.
Yep.
Yeah, the link is at the very top of the description. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, man. We'll have you on another time.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Yeah.
All right, you guys. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
Okay, bye, guys.
All right. Looks like okay.